Have you ever had a really great idea for a project and then have it fail utterly and totally and completely? Let me indulge you in a story that I like to call The Painting Gone Wrong. It involves a youngish maiden, and she sets out with the goal of doing a series of paintings of her friends. She's going to capture their likeness. She's going to give these friends this painting or these paintings as gifts later on, and they're going to be absolutely amazed and happy to be able to get these creations. It's going to help her on her painting journey. She's going to become a better painter for this because she's going to sit down and paint people that she knows, and that's going to be fantastic. What a great idea. Okay, but really, enough with that nonsense. This really is a story of how I decided to do a series where I paint my friends. Not literally, but like I would do portraits of them and I would give them. Is that even proper English? I would give them the paintings. I kind of thought this would be a really great idea, a really great way to do something nice for my friends, or what I would hope would be nice for my friends, give them a painting that I made, and then also would give me practice on how to do portraiture, which is what I really want to do. So I decided to do this with my friends, and there's two reasons for this. The first one is my daughter is tired of me painting her. And the second reason is my daughter is tired of me painting her. So I need a new model. And so I thought, what better, what better, pool do I have to pull from than my friends? So I have a lot of great friends, and I kind of went through the whole list of them and was trying to think about who I might decide to pick first. And I picked Liz. And then you may ask, why did I pick Liz? Well, first of all, she's a brilliant woman. She is incredibly smart and intelligent, and I really wanted to focus on that. She is very smart, dedicated, educated physician. She has an entrepreneurial spirit. She is an entrepreneur of her own right, an investor, incredibly smart. She has an amazingly cute dog, Kai. So I thought this would be an amazing, great portrait to get the two of them together. Her dog is a little bit older, and so I thought this would be great to get a portrait of the two of them together while he's still around, and to immortalize him, and hopefully a gift that I can give her to show her how incredibly, beautiful she is from the inside out. And so I thought that I would start with her as the first portrait. So, as you might imagine, she is a really busy physician. She doesn't have a lot of time to sit around for 3 hours on probably like 2 to 3 sessions to have her portrait painted. And so I asked her kind of what she wanted to do instead. And so she picked going to the banyan tree in Waikiki because that place held a lot of resonance for her and her dog and really meant a lot for her. So we went out there to take pictures, and it went fantastic. Dun, dun, dun. Spoiler alert, it did not go as planned. As many people who are videographers, bloggers, photographers, they all have that horror story of how they went out, they did work for an entire day, and they were shooting and they lost everything. Well, that's not entirely the case with me. So I went out and I had my two cameras. I had my iPhone and I had my DJI. And I'd never really gone out and filmed anything with my DJI before. which was probably my first mistake. But I decided I had used it like here and there, walking around the neighborhood, filming a couple of clips, doing this and that. And I knew that the DJI had a nicer camera in the sense that it was like a 1-inch sensor with 10-bit color and blah, blah, blah. And so I thought, oh, that'll be pretty nice. So I'll take this out with me. I can film video, I can take pictures and stills, so I can record the process of me doing this painting. And that's what people want, right? They want the process. That's what would have been nice, except what happened was I apparently was toggling between video and photo and taking photos when I thought I was taking video and vice versa. And so I didn't really get any video. This is kind of what I got. I'm here at the banyan tree waiting for my friend Liz to get here. Hello. Look at that old guy.
Look at that old man.
Oh, look at that tumor.
I know, right?
So then I start to take some pictures, and if anybody's seen the DJI, it's got a tiny microscopic screen. You can't really see what's going on with it. It's very hard to zoom in, and I couldn't really tell. It didn't really look like the pictures I were getting were good quality pictures, and so I ended up switching to my iPhone. While the iPhone takes really good pictures on the iPhone, they really kindly only look good on the iPhone. They are really good pictures for social media, video clips for social media, video clips if you're going to make an album and have it printed of your family and that kind of stuff. They are pretty good for that. Are they really good pictures for photo references for a painting? Maybe. There is a couple caveats to that. You can get good pictures out of the iPhone, but you have to be intentional with the pictures that you're taking for your references. So if you're doing a close-up photo and you're just doing kind of like a headshot kind of portrait for your portrait painting and you have the right lighting, the camera will probably actually do a pretty good job with that. But what I did is I went out at golden hour, and it was a full body shot because I wanted to get Kai in the picture. And then when I got home and I tried to zoom in, the quality was terrible. And then the lighting was just very, very flat. So I started out painting this, and I didn't really realize how terrible my reference was until I actually started the painting. I do this black and white composition painting, or kind of like test painting, just to kind of get an idea of how I wanted it to be. And I ended up having to merge 2 different pictures from that photo shoot to get the picture that I wanted. The way Kai was looking in one didn't look appropriate. He was kind of looking off the wrong way. So I used Kai from a different picture and then put Liz from one picture and kind of combined the 2 of them so that he would be looking the right way, but then it was her. And I'm not a master when it comes to Photoshop. Actually, I don't even own Photoshop. So I kind of just like mocked it up in my head and then in the pictures. So in the black and white version, it actually looked pretty great. So I went in and started to work on the larger canvas, and that's where things fell apart, because what I realized was that the reference that I was using for Kai had completely different lighting from a completely different angle than the lighting did for Liz. And it just wasn't going to work. And maybe I could have made it work and it might have worked, but I couldn't make it work. I don't have enough experience for that to work. So I got partway into it, and then I realized that there was lighting issues. And then also the picture of Liz, she's kind of in profile. And I didn't really like the way that, I mean, I like the picture. The picture was great. My ability to paint her was kind of terrible. And I ended up on a big canvas out of all of that with the banyan tree, then the dog, you know, maybe like 2 inches of that is her face. And the whole point of a portrait painting was to get her face in my mind, and then the rest is kind of secondary. That's where you want the goal and the focus to be, was on her. But in the painting, it was like 2 inches and everything else was lost. So I was really frustrated with it. And then I tried to paint it, and then I zoom in on my picture that I took at golden hour on my iPhone, and everything fell apart. Everything was like monochromic because it was all golden hour, and no knock on the iPhone because, like I said, it takes good pictures for certain things, but not for this. Not a full body picture from several feet away and then zooming in on the face. It just lost detail and it was all monochromatic. And because of the lighting in the picture itself looked really cool. But for a portrait painting, it didn't work. For me, not for me. And so I ended up scratching that. I gave it up completely. Then I ended up doing another painting. I thought, you know what? Maybe I can't do this whole body thing because of all the reasons I just said, that, you know, the focal point should really be her. So maybe what I decided to do is like, I'll just do a portrait of her, and then I'll do a portrait of Kai, and then I'll do them separately, and then I'll give them to her. And well, you know, this is like my project. So if she likes it, cool. And if she doesn't, whatever. So I start to do that. I find a picture of Liz that I like. It's not a profile picture. It's a face on, head on, you know, directly from this direction, whatever you call that. So I start to work on that. And then, of course, once again, even when I messed with the color and the shading and the saturation and all the things on my iPhone picture, it was just a terrible reference. It was just terrible. So I started it as a painting, and I also tried it as a watercolor. And I got very stressed out by this whole entire project because of this self-imposed goal that I gave myself. I ended up like giving up, and I felt really, really, really terrible about not finishing it, and really kind of down on myself for not finishing it. But like, that's also kind of crazy because I'm the one that came up with this project. She's not like a paying customer. She's not giving me anything. I'm just giving her this like portrait. If anything, she's getting the pictures of her and her dog Kai, which actually, like I said, on the iPhone turned out pretty cool. Is it going to be a portrait of the two of them? No, it's not, because those picture references do not work. It was a failed project. But while the project itself may have failed, I actually really kind of learned a lot in the process. So here are a couple of things that I learned. If you're going out with your camera, and it doesn't have to be a fancy camera, you can use an iPhone. You can use your DJI. If you're using your DJI, make sure you know how to use it. Make sure you know that you're taking video when you're taking video and taking photo when you're taking photo. That seems like a pretty good place to start. And then if you are using your iPhone, you can use your iPhone. They actually do take really good pictures. But what I would recommend is, if you're doing a full body shot, take those full body shots with the iPhone, but then leave your model where they are, and then go in and take close-up pictures of the face, of the hands, of details of the clothing, of the little things that you need, so that when you have to zoom in and get the detail, the lighting is right, and then you get that higher quality picture so that you have the details that you need to be able to do the painting. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but that's like one of the big things I learned from that. You don't have to have a fancy camera. You just got to take the right pictures and know what you're taking. The other thing is, I would say, is don't be afraid to fail. This is a video about how I failed, but at the end, I didn't fail. There is some saying out there that talks about failure isn't a failure, it's a step towards success. And I do think that while I don't have a finished portrait to show you, I don't have that project finished, I have learned a lot. And so when I do try to do it again, I will take the knowledge I learned from this failure and move forward. I made this video so you guys can learn from my mistakes and move forward. I think when you're doing art, you're making art, it's really, really important not to get hung up in perfection. And I think that's something that I do all the time. And that my fear of failure made the project really kind of a miserable experience until I realized, like, it doesn't matter. This is just a painting. My income doesn't rely on it. I'm very fortunate that I have a job that pays my bills. And I learned a lot from the experience, and to not get stressed out by it, to take it for what it is, a learning experience. And so that was helpful. So don't be afraid to try things and have them fail. And this, I have like 3 or 4, I don't think it's 3 or 4. I think it's just like one canvas and a bunch of no, that's a lie. 2 canvases and a piece of watercolor paper, and then the black and white one was okay. But either way, I have a couple canvases that are scratches. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with them, repaint over them. But it's not a fail because I learned something in the process. And so that's going to be my take-home message. Make sure you know how to use your equipment. If you're going to go use your iPhone, make sure that you get close-ups of your picture of your subject so that you can zoom and use that as a reference. Make sure you have good lighting. If you're going out at golden hour, everything's going to be golden, and don't be afraid to fail. If you've made it this long, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I really appreciate your time and helping me move towards my dream of creating art and talking about the experience and sharing that experience and knowledge with you guys. So thank you so much to the 2.5 people that actually watched this video to the end. Probably just my mom and dad. Hi, mom and dad. Thanks. If there happens to be like a third person who I don't know who watches to the end, comment below. Tell me you're the third person. Tell me if you learned anything from this video. If you want to see other videos, let me know. I'm gonna actually try to make this a series where I actually complete a portrait. How about that? Something to look forward to. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. I hope to see you soon, and happy painting. Come on up. Come on. Okay, now sit. Sit. Okay, perfect. Say hello, everybody. Okay, say bye, Luna.